This is exciting. It's fun. It's so hot today, though. Look how burned up right now. But look at the stairs. So, hi. Oh, goodness.
As much as they want to eat.
Hi.
So if they drop anything, if they drop any on the ground, feel free to just leave it. Don't worry. They'll pick it up or I'll pick it up afterwards. I just warn you, try not to get like your face too close.
Right.
to them.
Right.
They're generally not aggressive or anything, but when they get really excited, they kind of grab towards stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty
like
tall, so my face
hard
is
to get there. But
it's pretty far.
Yeah, crouching down is perfectly fine.
Oh, I can crouch?
Yeah, cool, you can crouch down.
I feel just really tall.
Yeah, of course. They can be a little comfortable with that. My name is Eric.
Eric. And so you're one of the bird keepers here.
I am one of the bird keepers. Yep.
And so this is an African species of penguin.
So this is a South American species
sorry.
of penguin, actually. So they are Humboldt penguins. They're from South America. They're from like Chile and Peru, so all along the west coast.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I guess I wasn't listening to you at all when you said that earlier.
No worries at all. No worries.
The females have the bands on their left wing, and the males have them on the right?
Yes, that is correct. So generally the way that we band most birds and most zoos will be like right is male, left is female. So it's the same for our guys here.
How many individuals do you have here?
So we have 9 penguins in our flock right now. So we currently have 6.3, which is 6 males and 3 females. So we're a little bit male heavy, but this species in general does tend to be a little bit male heavy in zoos. So that's kind of the general population for that. Speculation, it's like part of it could be contributed to that females, their bodies go through a lot more stress during the year. They produce eggs and they do all that sort of stuff. So like that can be a little bit more depleting, potentially that, but unknown. It can be very hot where they're from. They actually have some natural adaptations to deal with heat. So if you see all the pink skin that's around their like beaks and stuff, that is just exposed skin. And what they can do is they can pump a bunch of blood up into it. It gets really flush, bright red. It kind of gets swollen. And as wind travels past it, it actually pulls heat off of their body. I've worked with these guys for almost 2 years. Technically, it'll be 2 years in July that I've worked with these guys.
So what is it like to you to work with these penguins?
Part of the reason that I did zookeeping stuff was just there's a lot of diversity. And part of the reason why I worked with birds is there's a lot of diversity. So it's very interesting to see just different animals and how they've evolved and adapted to different environments and what their kind of specializations are. So that's generally why I really like birds. They're very weird, interesting anatomy.
Yep. But I love them though. I love them for their weirdness.
Yeah, they are weird. Exactly. You love them for their weirdness, but they're also like really intelligent in general. So a lot of species are really clever and they're good at solving problems, and you can see a lot of like behaviors happening. A lot of like.
I think one of the biggest things that always surprised me about penguins is how old they can get.
Yeah, and some species can live even longer than these ones here. But yes, and that's, I would say, relatively true of most birds can live a pretty good length of time. So she is 22. So our second oldest one is about 17. So he is actually walking up the cliff right now. But yeah, so here's our youngest and our oldest one, 1 year old, 22 years old. Wow. This environment was actually kind of modeled after some of what their habitats look like. Usually the ocean's down below them. They'll go up kind of like cliffs to they nest usually on like rocky kind of outcroppings and cliffs and stuff. So they'll actually travel up to it and like be kind of on the opposite side of like a cliff from the ocean. So it's pretty normal for them to do any of this stuff here.
Are they part of an SSP?
They are part of an SSP. So SSP, Species Survival Program. They are a managed species. We have a stud bookkeeper for them as well. So we will actually trade with other zoos on ones that will breed if we want like better genetics for a different population.
I wanted to point something out too as we're kind of standing here with there are people in here with us.
There are people in here with us.
So what exactly is this that we're doing here?
So right now we are doing a behind the scenes feeding experience. It's where guests can come in and help us assist feeding in our penguin flock.
All right, so this is open to the public?
This is open to the public. It's open 4 days a week, but we have at least, I think, 4 BTSs every single day. So any day of the week, there are experiences like this.
Awesome. So we have officially moved over here.
Yes,
Eric,
up to the beach area.
Up to the beach area, and we've kind of left the other people behind.
Yes.
They're in the water right now.
Yeah,
no.
Chucked them in.
Chucked them in.
Cool off a little bit.
Obviously, it was hot.
Yeah,
so we have these awesome, beautiful birds, these penguins in front of us.
Yes.
One of the things I wanted to talk about and ask you was simply some of the breeding that goes on. Like, can you explain some of the pairings that happen?
Yeah, so generally penguins are a species that typically mates for life. So usually they'll stay with the same partner year after year. So we have several different pairs here, and 4 in total, but one's kind of a loose-ish pair. So like our oldest ones, Calfred and Fausto, generally are a little bit too old to really be doing a lot of like egg laying stuff. So they're like kind of semi doing a lot of pair stuff, but they're not doing as much breeding behavior as some of our other ones. One of our other pairs is right here. So we have Charlie and Belle. So they are both about 9-year-old penguins, and they've been together for a relatively short time. So Belle's previous partner passed away last year.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Penguins generally are a species that mate for life, but if something happens to their partner, they usually repair, and oftentimes they repair very quickly.
Yes.
So she was one that was like, the very next day after he passed, she's like, I'm ready. I'm going to pair up with another male.
Well, you know what? She probably had her eyes on him for a while.
Yeah, she was waiting
Yeah,
there.
she was. She moved on quickly, huh?
Yeah, she did move on pretty
Just
quickly.
like in real life with humans.
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
Sometimes, right?
Sometimes. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I've been hurt.
Yes.
So, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, oh no.
Off of hanging out with them just a little bit of time and watching the dismount there, the personalities.
Yeah, so they all do have quite a bit of personality, and a lot of them are pretty different from each other. And you can see it in multiple ways, and like how they behave or where they go. Are they ones that like to jump off the cliff into the water, or do they prefer to walk down the ramp? A lot of them will have like personal preferences in the type of fish that we feed. So we generally feed a pretty good variety of fish. Right now we have like 4 that we cycle through, and some of them are like, I only want capelin. Some of them are like, I only want anchovies. Some of them are like, I'll eat anything. It doesn't matter. So yeah,
Give me all the
very
fish.
interesting. Yeah, give me any fish at all. Mainly that's our chick. He's like, I don't care what it is. I'll eat everything.
How much fish do you think each individual eats? Obviously, it's tracked. I know you guys have about 9 penguins here.
Yeah, so we have 9 penguins here, and we do track it mainly by like weight, like how many pounds-ish we go through. Now, the amount of food that each penguin eats can vary dramatically throughout the year. So when it's really hot, they tend to eat a lot less food. When it's really cold, they tend to eat a lot more food. If they have chicks that they're taking care of, they need to eat food for about 3 birds. So they can eat tons and tons of food.
And if they're molting, they eat?
And if they're molting, yeah, exactly. So penguins go through what we call a catastrophic molt, which is where they molt pretty much their entire body of feathers at the same time.
Wow.
So generally what they do is they'll actually eat a ton of food beforehand, and they'll gain up to about 50% of their body weight sometimes, 40-50% of their body weight. And then they won't eat for 3 weeks while they're growing new feathers, 2 to 3 weeks. So generally that is a behavior that's kind of established in the wild. It's not really as safe for them to get in the water when they don't have feathers. They don't have waterproofing on them. Their skin can get wet. They can get a little susceptible to stuff like hypothermia. So usually they don't really get in the water while they're molting either. Yeah, so they can go through periods of fasting.
Okay.
On a general day, you know, probably like a pound or 2 of fish, I'd say maybe.
Okay.
But it varies so much. It's like really hard to tell. They can eat much more than that if they want to.
Yeah, I love these little hollowed out little burrows here.
Yeah, so these are their nest burrows. This is where all the magic happens in here. For the breeding season, we've got a bunch of options where they can kind of pick and choose wherever they like to go.
Yeah, no, I love this exhibit. It's just like, it's like a sandy beach.
Yeah.
And it's super cool. It's just like South America would look.
Yeah, and it's kind of modeled after a lot of where the habitat where they live, where there are like sandy parts, there are rocky parts, there's kind of gravelly parts, and then like the pool is kind of more like the ocean where it's like down elevation wise and behind everything. So they have a lot of habitat to explore, which is really nice for them here. And they use it really well. Like we'll see them in every part of this enclosure. So.
They're so funny. I know you hear that a lot, and people just talk about how cute they are.
They are very cute, but they also smell really bad because they just eat fish.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that people forget about is like it's just fish eaters, but they're very cute. They have a lot of personality, a lot of character. They're very curious. They explore a lot. So,
well, again, thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
I've been crouching a lot in this journey today here at the zoo. I crouched more than I'm used to, and my knees are burning.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here.
Absolutely.
I'll give you a fishy handshake if you can.
I'll give you a non-fishy handshake.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, you guys, that was the Philadelphia Zoo. I had such a great time. I cannot wait to come back. I met so many cool animals, met so many cool keepers. What was your favorite animal? I really want to know. Let me know in the comment section below. And what zoo should I hit up next? Till next time, it's your boy Jungle Jordan. I'm out.